Okay, sup people on YouTube? It's me Knafla coming back with another Black Templars Tactica video, kind of. Um, I got asked to do a Sword Brethren episode, so I'm doing that. And I'm going to head it off with the Sword Brethren Terminators. Specifically the Assault Terminators, because that's one of those that's always going to be in my list. No matter what I do, I'm going to give them Furious Charge and Lightning Claws. So they're swinging initiative 5, strength 5, reroll hits, reroll wounds, reroll hits because of the Emperor's Champion. Yeah. Uh, and I give them a Land Raider transport. If I bought a Crusader, it would have been a Crusader, but I bought this one instead because of the las cannons, and in Apocalypse it's my Terminal Ultimus turn whatever the Land Raider is with 5 las cannons. Um, Yeah, but the other options for the Terminators are giving them Tank Hunters and Thunderhammer and Storm Shields. The only bad thing about that is the Storm Shields only are able to give a 4-up invulnerable in combat. We don't have the epic 3+ invulnerable from everything because, well, we're old like that. Well, another Terminator tactic I use is using the Shooting Terminators, giving them 2 Assault Cannons and Tank Hunters. That way I have a strength 7 technically assault cannon, although it's supposed to be D6 plus 1, which means I'm wondering if that means for rending, it's gonna be if I roll a 5, and since I add plus 1 for tank hunters, that would be a 6. Would that add D3? Check that roll for me. I'm a little lazy, and I like to give you and put more comments on my videos. Well, and come back and check that up on me. Back to the Land Raider, putting him in Land Raider. Put him in Land Raider and run him up and shove him down your throat. Get him into combat. That's where Black Templars succeed, no matter what unit you have. And that's pretty much Sword Brother and Terminators in a little shell. Um, yeah. Oh, and then here's the Sword Brethrens, the normal ones. Uh, what I do, I don't usually use these models, mostly because there are so many points, but I discovered something new. Well, I wouldn't say discovered. I just noticed something that I could do. These Sword Brethrens can take Furious Charge, Counter Take, or Infiltrate for free, but it has to be one of those. And if I was going to run this unit, I would take Infiltrate and put them in a Razorback or Rhino, depending on how big my squad. If I want my uh, tactical squad and give them a melty gun and a power weapon, stick them in a Razorback, and outflank with them, which is awesome. And I read that rule, and yes, you can, even though there's some discrepancy at a tournament. Read the rule, and yeah, I win. Uh, but Sword Brethren can come with Terminator Honors, which is basically +1 attack for 10 more points. So instead of being 19 points, it's 29 points, and you're getting 1 extra attack. And keep in mind, you're probably going to run Combat Sword Brethren, because Ranged Sword Brethren doesn't really work, because they don't have the options for it to make them really special in that. You can take a las cannon, as seen over there. Yes, that's a guard las cannon, but I putting that in a second tactical squad, as seen by that, and putting them in a Rhino with a plasma gun. 2 fire points shooting out of them, extra protection. I like it. But coming back to this, where was I? Something about shooting. Oh, they're not very good at shooting. Their transport can be good at shooting by that las cannon, but they can't be good at shooting because, well, they don't have any special things to push them over the edge. But what I also thought about doing is giving them Furious Charge and making an Honor Guard for them. An Honor Guard for the Emperor's Champion, basically. It's not technically an Honor Guard because it's an elite choice and not a retinue, but with that, that lets me, my Emperor's Champion, have a very good combat unit with him. And if I do that, I'm going to give them all Terminator honors, a lot of points, and a combat shield, which is a 5-up invulnerable only in combat. And it gives you a +1 for, gives you the 2-hand weapon, extra close combat weapon in combat, which is always good. Yeah, and that's the Sword Brethrens. Basically, the same thing as my infantry unit, except my tactical marines for Black Templars. Multigun, power weapon, combat shields if you want the Emperor's Champion to be running with them. Infiltrate if they don't have the Emperor's Champion, so they can outflank and rip things apart. Or give them Furious Charge and let them have the Emperor's Champion and just run up the middle being flanked by these guys. Which is a multi-hammerhead unit which will just tear anything apart. That's basically it. I'm going to test run them infiltrate outflanking to see how well it does. Yeah, that's a Sword Brethren video for now. Going through the codex to see if there's any other Sword Brethrens I'm missing. No fast attack. Yeah, so Sword Brethren are only in the elite. I consider them to be in the command squad too, but that's just me because, well, they are, well, the elite. But something you may have noticed is my army is now red and not purple. That's because I'm starting up Blood Angels. And I don't really exactly have the money for it, and Soul Drinkers looked good, but people were getting angry because, and I was getting annoyed because I'm not a Lakers fan, even though I live in LA, and they're calling my Marines the Lakers, and it was just getting annoying, so they switched to red. Oh, and I did get Ashroth the Grim for my Blood Angels. Help with the power weapon part, because it doesn't look that well, or good, however you speak English in America these days. Just help me out with the painting on the power weapon part of the Ashroth. Other than that, no, that was good. Thank you. This has been Sword Brethren video. More to come. Kill Blondie.